Imagine wearing a barong or Filipiniana today. How would it make you feel, knowing the stories of revolution, elegance, and identity that these garments carry through Philippine history? Did you know that these iconic symbols of Filipino culture have evolved through different periods in history? Hey everyone, welcome to this video. And today we're going to talk about the barong and Filipiniana from different periods in Philippine history. Barong Tagalog and Filipiniana reflect the Philippines' cultural heritage, blending indigenous, Spanish, and American influences. They are more than just clothing. They represent resilience of Filipino identity in history, embodying the fusion of local traditions with foreign influences that have shaped the Philippines over the centuries. Today, these garments continues to be important markers of Filipino identity and pride, worn with honor during national holidays, state events, and cultural celebrations. Barong, the formal menswear of the Philippines. It has evolved from pre-Hispanic native wear to the Philippines' national wear over the course more than 4 centuries. Throughout its evolution, various factors have influenced the look and meaning of the Barong Tagalog. Ramon Magsaysay helped popularize the lowly inferior barong. On 30th of December 1953, Magsaysay took his path as the 7th President of the Philippines. He was the first president to wear the Barong Tagalog inauguration and made it the official male attire during official and social functions. The Barong Tagalog holds a significant place in Philippine history as a traditional formal wear. It originated during the Spanish colonization period as a symbol of resistance against depression. The intricate embroidery on the bottom Tagalog represents Filipino artistry and craftsmanship, showcasing the rich cultural heritage of the country. Originally worn by the upper class and later became a symbol of national identity and pride over time, adapting to modern fashion trends while still retaining its cultural significance today. It continues to be worn on special occasions and formal events as a proud representation of Filipino heritage. It is mainly crafted from nipis, a collective term for piña and abaca fiber. Modern times include polyester, silk, and rami. During the Spanish occupation of the Philippines, over 300 years from 1561 to 1889, the Barong Tagalog was required by the Spanish government for Filipinos to be worn at the most times to show the difference between the rich and the poor. He said that the poor who serve the rich must always be in uniform. Take the first maids and employees as examples. They are in uniform to immediately distinguish them from the employers. When the Spaniards colonized the Filipinos, they had to make it abundantly clear who the boss was through the imposition of a dress code. In 16th century, or the pre-Spanish period, the natives of Mai, or the Philippines as it was called before the Spaniards, renamed the archipelago. In particular, the Tagalog people of Luzon wore Baro't. The Tagalog males wore a sleeve doublet of rough cotton cloth called kanga. In the 1700s, the Spanish brought in their dress shirt with standing collar. The Ilustrado wore the Baro't with the high Elizabethan collar, trimmed with lace and adorned with a gem or a big button. It extended just above the knees and was worn with a thin sash high across the waist. Early 19th century, the Baro't was shortened and the Elizabethan collar was replaced by a short one, sans lace. The tradition of embroidery. The ordinary folk, on the other hand, wore their everyday dress as they had done for 100 years. Loose shirts, of coarse Kimara cloth, often blue or blue and white striped, and worn over trousers. An added flair was a kerchief flung over the shoulder and worn as a putong on the head. In 1898, By the time the Filipino nationalists had won their fight for independence, the Barong Tagalog or Barong Tagalog as it was popularly called from then on, with ruffled collar and cuffs and more elaborate designs, reappeared. In 1920s, a style emerged that was considered the most authentic, Barong Tagalog, made of rengue abaca fiber. It was worn over camisa de chino, a Chinese collarless t-shirt, and sported a design on the hap open, with plain collar and pleated backs. It was the vogue till 1930. And in 1935, under the tutelage of President Manuel L. Quezon, a variation of the Barong Tagalog, known as the Commonwealth Barong Tagalog, with the Tidings MC duffel motif, became popular. In 1975, President Ferdinand E. Marcos issued a decree proclaiming Barong Tagalog Week from June 5 to 11 and designated the Barong Tagalog as the national attire. The Presidential Act was meant to focus nationwide attention on the Filipino national dress to wider use and enhance its export potential. Today, the Filipinos, as well as non-Filipinos, continue to wear the Barong Tagalog, with distinguishing acceptance worldwide. Filipiniana. A Filipiniana dress is the female counterpart of the Barong Tagalog. A traditional outfit with puffy oversized sleeves, a blouse or baro, a long skirt or saya, and a panuelo, or a fabric worn as a head covering or a scarf around the neck draped over the shoulders. Looking at a bit chronology of how the Philippine dress evolved, we can see transformation of garments from previous generations to current-day modern Filipiniana. The Filipiniana will always be every Filipino's outfit of cultural identity. It embodies values, customs, and traditions of the Filipino people. By wearing a Filipiniana dress, women can definitely showcase their culture and heritage with confidence and elegance. The clothing's essence has been passed down through generations and still remains the flagship of traditional Filipino clothing. Nowadays, Filipino traditional dresses have evolved into different styles. Our local designers have upgraded the Filipiniana's design to make it more trendy in every aspect. Filipino designers started to incorporate modern elements into the clothing while maintaining its cultural roots. In early centuries, predating Spanish colonization, women wore garments called tapis, an unstitched cloth wrap around skirt knotted at the waist or below the bust. Much like other Asian and Southeast Asian garments, like the Indian sari and Indonesian songket, tapis garments are still worn as a cultural attire, especially in northern Luzon. In other parts of the Philippines, tapis-like garments are known in other languages as the patadyong and malong. In year 1521 to 1898, influenced by Spanish taste, parts of Philippine society adapted to clothing that was made from finer and lighter materials, such as the pineapple fiber or piña. Pineapples were imported from South America to the Philippines during the Manila Galleon trade, and weaving the embroidering pineapple fiber became a distinctly Filipino art form. The Baro't saya continued to transform with the significant influence of Spanish colonizers, and contributing factors of a rising economy and exposure to Western design. A new ideal of Philippine fashion, called the Maria Clara, after Jose Rizal's female heroine, became the image of elegance and beauty. The Maria Clara typically was comprised of 4 components: the light and delicate baro or camisa blouse of juicy, the saya or long skirt made of padded cloth from Spanish influence, the panuelo scarf, also known as an alampay, a stiff triangular shawl or veil worn to demonstrate modesty, and the tapis, as an opaque rectangular cloth that wrapped around the saya. During the early 1900s, after the U.S. acquired the Philippines upon winning the Spanish-American War in 1898 and 1899, a newer version of the Maria Clara emerged. The baro sleeves morphed into larger, extravagant butterfly sleeves. The panuelo was a scaled-down version of its predecessor. The boxy design of the bodice gave way to a more shapely and fitted silhouette. The skirt became narrower and more ornate, with a lengthy train known as a saya de cola. As time passed, the traditional traje de mestiza was replaced with designs yielding to the modern fashions of the day. The turn, especially with its iconic arch, flat sleeves, was embraced, leaving behind the panuelo shawl and tapis overskirt of previous Filipiniana iterations. Originally, the term terno meant matching, referring to matching set of top and bottom garments. However, its meaning shifted throughout the 1940s, and it now refers to the single classic Philippine outfit. As a result, Filipiniana dresses have become more appealing to women of all ages. In various Filipino events, we can see Filipino women proudly wearing their Filipiniana outfits. It is a good fashion choice for women, especially if they want to showcase the local creations made by our diligent homegrown designers.
The Barong Tagalog and the Filipiniana are more than just traditional clothing. They are symbols of Filipino identity and cultural pride. These garments represent our rich heritage and craftsmanship. They are worn at significant events such as Independence Day, weddings, and even international summits, showcasing our culture with pride. In fact, during state visits and global events, world leaders often wear the barong, helping to promote Philippine heritage on the world stage. More than fashion, the Barong and Filipiniana tell a story, our story, a story of resilience, identity, and Filipino pride. When we think of Barongs and Filipinianas, we often admire their elegance. But have you ever thought about the people who make them? In places like Taal, Batangas, and Iloilo, skilled artisans have been weaving fabrics like tinya, juicy, and silk for generations. These delicate, handcrafted materials are what make our traditional attire so special. Even during the Spanish era, Filipinos found ways to make the barong stand out. They used fine fabrics like pinya and juicy, adding intricate embroidery to make the garment more elegant and eye-catching. What was meant to be a simple, restrictive outfit became a showcase of Filipino craftsmanship and pride. But these fabrics aren't just for tradition. Filipino designers are now blending them into modern fashion, proving that our heritage can evolve while staying true to its roots. And it's not just here in the Philippines. Our craftsmanship is getting noticed worldwide. More and more, we're seeing barongs and Filipiniana reimagined on the international stage. The Barong Tagalog and Filipiniana are symbols of national pride, deeply woven into our history and identity as Filipinos. These garments have long been associated with patriotism. During the Philippine Revolution, wearing the barong became an act of defiance, a statement of unity and national identity. It was a way for Filipinos to express their solidarity and resistance against colonial rule. Today, the barong and Filipiniana remain a strong part of our national identity. They are worn at events that honor our heroes and commemorate historical milestones, reminding us of our shared history and the sacrifices made for our freedom. For many, wearing these garments is not just about tradition. It's about carrying forward a legacy, embracing who we are, and showing the world the beauty of Filipino culture. So, the next time you see one of these garments, remember, it's not just clothing. It's a piece of our history, our culture, and the incredible skill of Filipino artisans and designers. Keeping our traditions alive takes effort, not just from individuals, but from entire organizations dedicated to preserving Filipino heritage. Organizations like the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, along with the National Museum of the Philippines, actively work to protect and promote our traditional attire. Through educational programs, exhibition, and collaborations, they ensure that future generations understand the cultural significance of the Barong and Filipiniana. But preservation isn't just about museums and history books. It's also about innovation. Many Filipino fashion designers are committed to keeping these garments relevant by blending tradition with modern style. By incorporating traditional fabrics and embroidery into contemporary fashion, they create a perfect balance between heritage and modernity. Thanks to these efforts, the Barong and Filipiniana continue to evolve while staying true to their roots. proving that tradition isn't something we leave in the past, it's something we carry into the future. So whether at official ceremonies, cultural celebrations, modern fashion, or through preservation efforts, these garments remain a powerful symbol of Filipino identity, reminding us that our culture is worth celebrating and protecting. It will continue to remind us of our past while inspiring pride in our present and future. These traditional pieces have evolved over the years to remain relevant in modern fashion, and it's time we celebrate that transformation. Designers today are creatively adapting these garments, ensuring they respect their cultural significance while fitting seamlessly into contemporary styles. For instance, the barong is now often paired with Western-style suits, creating a unique fusion that appeals to both formal and casual occasions. Meanwhile, the Filipiniana has been reimagined in lighter fabrics, making it perfect for everyday wear. These adaptations do more than just enhance style. They serve as powerful symbols of our identity. Wearing a barong or Filipiniana today allows us to connect with our heritage while expressing ourselves in a modern context. To ensure that future generations understand and value these garments, educational initiatives are essential. Schools, universities, and museums play a vital role in raising awareness about the history and cultural importance of the barong and Filipiniana. By learning about these garments, we can instill a sense of pride in our rich heritage. Fashion designers and historians also contribute significantly to this preservation effort. They document the evolution of these garments and teach young designers about traditional techniques. This knowledge transfer is crucial for keeping our cultural practices alive. The Barong Tagalog and Filipiniana are more than just clothing. They're symbols of our history and pride. The barong, once a sign of colonial control, has evolved into a symbol of Filipino resilience and unity. Worn during important events like Independence Day and weddings, it now represents our nation's strength. The Filipiniana, with its intricate designs and use of local fabrics like piña and yusi, showcases our artistry and regional diversity. These garments aren't just beautiful, they're pieces of our culture, history, and identity passed down through generations. In wearing them, we honor our heritage and celebrate being Filipino. We encourage everyone to explore educational resources, visit museums, attend workshops, or take part in cultural events. By doing so, we not only honor our past, but also ensure the legacy of the Barong and Filipiniana lives on for future generations. Together, we can keep our cultural heritage vibrant. These garments aren't just about style, they're a powerful symbol of our identity. Wearing a barong or Filipiniana today lets us connect with our heritage while expressing ourselves in a modern way. It's a celebration of who we are as Filipinos. And by embracing our traditional attire, we foster cultural exchange and understanding, transcending racial boundaries. Sharing our stories, culture, and pride helps build a more inclusive world.